So good sleep, good food, exercise.
Yeah.
That leads to
A healthy
a
lifestyle.
healthy lifestyle. Now, isn't following this set of practices of good food, good sleep, and exercise becomes your religion?
Religion?
Namaste. My name is Bidhan. 2012 is when I chanced upon Upanishads, and it had a profound impact on my life. Since then, I have dreamt to bring the key aspects of Upanishads in a manner which is simple, relatable, and implementable in our daily lives. So here we are with a set of videos to make spirituality simple. Good to have you back.
Hi, Bidan.
Hello.
Good to be back. So, yeah, I'm excited for today's episode. In fact, I didn't sleep much last night because I remember asking you the question of religion, where religion plays a role in spirituality.
So you're asking me what is religion? Religion is a set of codes that helps me come closer to my divine nature.
Because in my understanding, religion is a lot of division, a lot of separateness. In fact, you mentioned that spirituality is that oneness. It's about how all of us are one. But in my opinion, in my personal opinion, it's like I see a lot of division when it comes to religion, a lot of rigidity, a lot of rituals. So how is that connected to spirituality?
Yeah, so this is a fair question. And I understand from where you are coming from. In fact, I used to think in a similar fashion before I got exposed to Upanishads. So let's break it down, Preeti, right? And let's try and help you understand in the manner that you understand it best.
Yes.
And you have told me in my previous interaction before that you love physics.
Yes.
Shall we take physics as a route to understand the difference between religion and spirituality and how they are connected, not connected?
Okay, it's interesting to see how you'll bring that about, but yes, sure.
What is the difference between theoretical physics and applied physics?
Theoretical physics would be understanding something like radioactive decay, like how that works and what is the knowledge behind it, right? That is theoretical physics. But applied physics would be using that knowledge to make some kind of cancer treatment equipment. Using that radioactive decay knowledge, we make it into some kind of appliance, some kind of something that can be used in our day-to-day lives.
Perfect. This is simple for me.
Okay.
So what you're trying to say is theoretical physics basically understands the underlying forces of nature.
Correct.
And applied physics uses those understanding to create something for our benefit.
Perfect.
Right? Perfect. Spirituality and religion is not very different from these two. Our ancient rishis, just like theoretical physics understand the nature or the weak forces or strong forces of nature, our ancient rishis exactly knew the principle behind this entire universe, in the creation behind this entire cosmos, the truth behind everything. But the challenge was how to explain that and use that knowledge for the evolution of society so that they're in sync with the rhythm of universe. And to help people or help the society, there were certain codes, there were conducts, there were certain process that was entailed for common people so that they can simply follow that and come closer to their essential nature, which is divinity and oneness of everything around that. So those set of codes, those set of principles can be termed as religion.
So essentially trying to say that spirituality is such a vast topic and it's quite abstract. So they created certain codes, which you just said, codes of conduct, to make it more concrete for a layman like me and you to understand.
Exactly. I'll give you an example. This just came to me right now. So we all understand about Om,
right.
Om chanting. Most of us are aware of this, right? I was also aware of it, but when I was doing my study of Upanishads, specifically when I was doing Panchikarana of Sri Shankaracharya, so beautifully he explained the evolution of universe. And he said from avyakt, from unmanifest, the first thing that came was Sukshma Akash. And the property of the Sukshma Akash was sound. And that sound was Om. And from that sound, from that vibration, the other elements came through, which means that Om is the vibration, which is the point from where everything emerged. So Om is the primordial sound, the very vibration from where everything originated.
Okay.
When I read that, I was like in a different world. I felt so good. It made so much of sense to me. And when I was trying to explain this to my colleague, he told me, Bidhan, wait a minute. First of all, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. But more importantly, please tell me, how many times should I do the Omkara? In what posture do I sit? That will help me settle down. That will help me bring down my anxiety levels. And today he practices Om very religiously, and he has so beautifully kept a murti of Shiva right in front, and he does it very diligently. So he was not too interested in understanding the origin of Om or how the Om is the primordial vibration from which everything came out. But he is already on a spiritual path, because by chanting Om in a specific duration for a specific period of time, it brings down certain level of energy inside him, which helps him grow within.
Right.
So that Om, the practicing of Om, for him becomes his religion, set of principles, set of codes that he follows on a daily basis.
Right. And in fact, even science is moving towards that, right? Like the idea that the fundamental reality of everything is a vibration.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think there's also research that says that Om, chanting Om or hearing Om, sort of activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So it reduces your stress levels, it reduces your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. So in terms of science also, I think it sort of collaborates the same thing.
I mean, I can talk at length about what has been expounded in our scriptures, in our Upanishads, and how science is totally integrating towards that. That's one topic I love it. And that gives so much of credence to what was there, that it is not a myth, it is not some voodoo stuff, it's real, it's concrete. So coming back to your point, that I do understand where your complications about religion comes in, because while there are substantial amount of truth, there also has been exploitation in the name of truth which has happened.
Yeah.
And that has created a lot of negativity or a lot of bad taste for religion or those set of practices as such, isn't it?
Somewhere politics also comes into play, I think. Somewhere religion is being used for politics.
Yeah.
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 So I think that all of that sums up my personal opinion of what I said about division and all of that. Correct.
You were talking about the radioactive decay.
Yes.
Right? I also know that there is something called nuclear fusion.
Yeah.
Right? So nuclear fusion is one of the principles of nature. That's one of the strong forces of nature. Now you can use nuclear fusion to either create clean energy like nuclear energy or create a nuclear bomb. So my understanding is that religion can either be a nuclear energy creating electricity or can be a nuclear bomb creating a lot of havoc.
Correct.
So that doesn't make a religion good or bad. It is how we are using it for our own evolution.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense what you just said about using something either for a bomb or something for something that is good.
Exactly.
Of course, it brings me to my next question. Is it possible to be spiritual without being religious?
So the best way is to break down to basics. And I promise you, you will answer your own questions right now.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to ask you a few set of questions. You're asking me, can I be spiritual without being religious?
Yeah.
Right. So far, we have understood that spirituality is my inner essence, and all the action helps me come to my near essence is called spiritual actions. Now, suppose if you were to lead a healthy lifestyle, right? What would you do to do that?
I would exercise.
Right.
I would eat right.
Right.
I would get adequate sleep. Yeah.
So good sleep, good food, exercise.
Yeah.
That leads to
a healthy lifestyle.
Now, isn't following this set of practices of good food, good sleep, and exercise becomes your religion.
Religion? Okay.
Set of codes, set of practices. A set of practices, your religion, that it basically helps you to remain fit.
Be healthy. Yeah. Okay.
Can you therefore, without following this ritual of good sleep, good food, and exercise, get your goal of being healthy or having a good lifestyle?
No, you have to do the practices.
You have to do the practices, right?
Okay.
Similarly, when it comes to being spiritual, what is being spiritual? It is my ability to come closer to my essential self, which is divine. In our previous episode, we have seen that we are so deeply identified with the human experience,
right,
with our thoughts, with our emotions, with our roles and responsibilities, which means that we need to take some time out, do some set of practices to help me come closer to my divinity or come closer to my essential self.
Right. So does that mean that my actions, the actions that help me come closer to my inner self, my actions that help me see or be more present with my inherent nature, is that my religion? Or like, is it okay to not have any kind of these rituals that we have been prescribed to say that if you do these things, then you're a religious person?
So there are two things that we are saying. One, you're saying, if I have chosen to do certain activities and you're practicing that consistently, that becomes your religion.
Right.
What you're asking me is the organized religion, which has already pre-prescribed set of rules that you need to follow.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
See, I only know about Hinduism. I know about Hinduism that there are phenomenal ways to reach to your divinity.
Okay.
You can basically use karma as prayers and make it into karma yoga. You can use bhakti. You can use contemplation, which is jnana yoga. You can use meditation, which is raj yoga. There are so many ways and means that you can pick and choose from that helps you come closer to your essential self. It's like an open architecture. You can pick and choose whatever you want to.
Yeah. But I think that raises the question of why, or I think people sometimes believe that their set of practices is the only right way.
What we are learning right now is the concept of Upanishads, and mostly an Advaita perspective. There's something called non-duality. There is also something called Vishishtadvaita, which is qualified non-duality. There is something called Dvaita, that is duality. And there is also something called Charvaka philosophy. You live only once. Do whatever you want to do. If you see, there are multiple concepts, there are multiple sampradayas, there are multiple thought processes which is present. What is important is to choose what works for you. I mean, you have a platter. You cannot say that my food is better than yours. I mean, you may have a specific body composition, you may have a specific taste, you may come from a specific point of view. That doesn't make your food good or bad.
Right.
It is your food.
Yeah.
It works for you.
So if I say that what works for me is maybe meditating, doing like daily journaling, if that is what is working for me, and if that is what is helping me sort of discover my inner essence, is it right to call that as my religion?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
What stops you from saying that's your religion? I mean, it's okay. I mean, I can give any names to it.
So what works for you? I don't know. This is what works for me.
It's not about me. But since you have asked me, I'm just saying. So for example, for me, japa works. For me, chanting works. It works phenomenally. I mean, I have seen changes that has happened over a period of time simply by japas. Right. For me, contemplation works. I know a friend of mine who, for him, going to temples and simply sitting there works.
Okay.
For my mom, doing puja works. Right? So
you just have to see what works for you.
What works for you.
Right.
The question that we need to ask is, one, am I doing this practice consistently? And is it helping me come closer to my inner essence, which is divine? And is it helping me to see divinity around?
Right.
And those set of practices that helps you do that
Is your religion.
is your religion.
Wow.
And it is entangled with spirituality, because is it like your applied physics, which helps you harness the energy of theoretical physics?
Right. So I think what I've taken away is, yes, I do these practices. Like I've just given some examples like meditation and journaling. So what I've taken away is that I just need to do it more mindfully, mindful enough that it is taking me closer to my true nature, to my inner essence, and do it consistently. And then I can call that as my religion.
Absolutely.
Wow. And I think one thing that has also stuck with me when you were mentioning a lot of different philosophies, you had said Dvait, Advait. So I think something that sort of came to my mind was, this is also helping me be more accepting of everyone else's practices around me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that what they are doing is not right, what I'm doing is right. I think everyone just finds a practice that works for them. And whatever they are doing, whatever I'm doing, we just need to do it more mindfully, that it's bringing me closer to my inherent nature, and also sort of making me more aware of the interconnectedness of everything around me.
This is so beautiful what you said, that being open to the practices of other people.
Yeah.
Because by being open itself, the interconnectedness is happening automatically.
Yes.
By merely saying that I'm open to the way you want to do, because everybody is in a different path of evolution, and something that works for you may or may not work for me, but it's okay. We will evolve together in our own ways. And that itself says interconnectedness. That thought itself is spiritual in nature.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing that you brought out. In fact, to my viewers, I will request that please mention the activities that you do, which you may call it religious, that helps you come closer to your essential self. Because it's all about exploring more and more of what we are doing, but doing it with certain amount of awareness that how does it help me to evolve? How does it help me to go to the next level or come closer to divinity around me, divinity in me and around me?
Right. I think that pretty much sums up what spirituality is, what we've understood.
So can we do spirituality? Can we be religious without spiritual?
No. It's just that you don't need to prescribe to any particular set codes of conduct by other people. You have to find out what works for you.
Perfect.
So then you had also mentioned about Om.
Yeah.
And how Om is that singular source of creation. It's that first point.
Yeah, the primordial sound.
Right? The sound. And if we are all interconnected and we are all one, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this, but why are there so many gods and goddesses?
Preeti, why do you have so many questions? Your questions are eternal is what I have figured out. So
that is changeless, the fact that I have questions.
Let's take this up in our next session. Today, I think we've already taken a certain amount of time. And to our viewers, if you have any questions like Preeti has, please mention it in the comments below. Write to us, because we are going to have one specific episode to only answer the questions that you have in your mind. Hopefully that will help us connect better and give you some specific answers.
Hopefully the questions don't bring up more questions.
Yes.
But for today, I think what is the one big takeaway I would say is, we, just like theoretical physics and applied physics, theoretical physics is essentially spirituality, where the rishis have understood the truth, right, behind our existence. And applied physics, which is the religion, are the set of the codes of conduct that they have given us so that we can understand the true essence of nature and the true essence of ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
That is what we call as religion.
That's what we call religion. Feel free to choose the one that works for you. Not for all, not all the codes and conducts may not necessarily be appropriate. It might have got diluted. It might have got enhanced. Please use your buddhi, your intellect, to see what works for you. But we do need certain amount of practice on a daily basis to break the identification and come closer to our essential self, which is divinity.
And just do all these practices more mindfully and consistently. Perfect. Thank you so much, Vedant.
Thank you, Preeti. See you next.
Thank you. If you like this video, please do like, share, and comment below. And of course, don't forget to leave your questions below like Vedant asked, because we're doing a special episode just with your questions. Thank you so much.